Good evening, YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. If you haven't already, make sure you get over to Forget About It Junk Removal YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe. So, what's up, guys? Just want to catch everybody up on what's been going on my junk removal journey. I've been up and running for the last week. Got my first job, been getting my marketing out there. Lots of great stuff. Loving it. Decorated my office the last couple of days. Got all the furniture in, and everything's starting to come together very well. So very, very excited with all that. And then I woke up to some great news today. I got a text from my boy Ronnie Knuckles. I've been working with him, and he sent me the launch of my website. And I went through it, and I just was so excited with it. I was like, "This is amazing, the quality and everything." So I thought it'd be a great idea to bring him on tonight and kind of just go through the process and kind of talk about him and his company, digital marketing, doing a lot of big things. So, with that being said, I'd like to introduce the man of the hour, Ronnie Knuckles. What's up, brother? How are you
Hey,
tonight?
Paul, good. Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be back on.
So, I wanted to shout out your company. I didn't say the name yet. Spearcrest Digital, digital marketing company, make websites. And what else services do you guys offer for people that might be some use for some of the home service businesses out there?
Yeah, so right now our primary focus is on the organic side. So we offer website design, SEO, and Google Business Profile Management. So our Google Business Profile and SEO services are a combined service. So we help people rank organically, and we help people rank in the maps because most business that comes organically online coming from Google Maps. So, and when I say SEO, we do search engine optimization for all search engines, not just Google. And those methods work for AI search engines, which I think over the next 5 to 10 years we're going to see a shift. I think Google's going to lose some ground. I still think they're going to be king for a long time, but I think they're going to lose some ground. And so good SEO works across multiple search engines, and that's really going to be our focus now and as we move forward. So yeah, those are our primary services. We're talking about rolling out some maybe some ads management in the spring. So we've got a team, pretty built up team now, and we've got some trainings and stuff coming up. I don't want to roll out anything unless it's high quality. I don't want to just roll it out for the sake of rolling it out and trying to make money. I'm not about that. I want to roll something out that's actually going to make a difference for our clients. So anyway, we're talking April, May. We may be rolling out some ads management for our clients as well.
Very cool, man. I love to hear all this great stuff you got going on. And the whole thing that I really like, and why we started working together and I hired you and all, is because I like the whole fact that you were part of the junk removal industry. You had your own company, you ran it, you were there day to day. So you kind of understand the market and needs that a junk removal company would use, but it
Yep.
also is good for any other company out there. I had a couple other friends I made mention to you, and one of the persons, I think she contacted you and all,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
I was just so impressed when I had you on interview, and the knowledge that you were spewing that day was just gold. And from that first interview, never forgot you. And I was like, yo, this is the guy I want to work with, man. He
Mm.
really, really knows all the little details and the nitty gritty stuff that really matters. And getting you ranked up there with SEO and all. So I kind of want to just, touch on your history, man, and kind of how did it all come about, man, to get this whole digital marketing company up and running? I know you were doing the whole junk removal. Kind of
Yeah.
tie it all together for us.
Yeah. Well, first of all, man, I really appreciate that. I appreciate you working with us. I'll go back real quick. I've been following you since you came online. You've been you tagged me in posts, and when you first started out, I'm like, who is this dude tagging me? And like, getting everybody on his podcast and stuff. And I've seen your brand grow online, and you do an incredible job of it. And it's clear because you've done it before. You kind of know the game. And so anyway, through that, I appreciate you deciding to work with us, man. We put a lot of work in to be able to get to a point where someone like you would find us, have us on a podcast, and decide to work with us. So yeah, I'll back up and kind of tell you the whole story. So I had still have the junk removal business, by the way. I added in a second owner recently, and he's been with us for a while, but it's his baby now. So we started that business. Man, it's been 7 years. That business has been around, And so the first couple of years, I hired a marketing agency, and I gave them a while. Like they were super nice guys, and I think they had good intentions, but they weren't experts in their field. They weren't experts in their craft, and gave them 2 years, which is a lot of time. I was paying them like $1,500 a month. They were doing similar things to what we offer now, but they were doing some ads as well. And I never got any results, man. After 2 years, we still weren't. We were ranking on like the 5th or 6th page on Google. You couldn't find us in the maps. So it's kind of a unique story, and I kind of caught a break in a weird way. But my dad ended up getting cancer, and he couldn't go back. He's a mechanic. He couldn't go back working on cars. He got over the cancer, but he needed something to do, and so I plugged him into the business, just really answering the phones, scheduling the jobs. It got me away from having to worry about that side of the business. And so I thought, as I'm away from that, I'm going to get into marketing, right? So I'm going to get into figuring out how I can market the business, and I'm just going to learn it on my own. So I took a course. It was it's a group / training course. It was called Badass Marketers. And, I spent quite a bit of money. I invested a lot of money into it. I was investing that money to learn how to do it for my own business. And what I learned really was the ins and outs of how to set up an agency, kind of the bones of how to set up an agency. There's a lot of things that aren't answered in that course, but it gave me a good idea of how to get started. So I'm taking all the technical stuff and pulling it out of that course, and I'm implementing it into my business. So I got my website built on Duda, right, on a new platform. Start learning how to do SEO. I start doing the SEO. I start managing my Google business profile. After about 6 months of that, we went from unranked to page 1 organically, top 3 of the maps. And we grew by like 35-40%. So I'm talking about this stuff in the groups, in Matt and JoJo's group and in the big group. And so people start saying, well, hey bro, could you help me do that? And so at first we helped a couple people. That started turning into, they started getting results. They started speaking highly of us. And I'm like, okay, now I got to make a decision. I've got kind of the junk removal side automated. I didn't need to make a lot of money off of it. I was still working full time. I was the chief operating officer at a veteran nonprofit when Spearcrest, or right before Spearcrest came along. And I didn't have to have that. I had kind of a security blanket. So I'm like, all right, we're going to start this agency and start helping people. And so we started the digital marketing agency in 2022-ish. It's been 3 years, roughly. And so late 2021, early 2022. And so we started from there, dude. And for a long time, we only had like 10 clients. Like we would average about 10 clients. And then, in September of last year, right? It was not this most recent September, the September before. It's a little confusing. I ended up leaving the veteran nonprofit. So Spearcrest was getting to a point where it was like, all right, either I have to decide I need to jump in this full time, or I have to let it go, because I can't do both. Because managing a veteran nonprofit it's an ordeal, to say the least. And just around that time, the CEO and I had kind of we butted heads. Had kind of a falling out. And then, so that kind of helped solidify my decision. And then right, like a week later, a buddy of mine who owned a marketing agency, they were struggling. He's like, hey, can you come in and teach my agency how to do what you guys do? And he paid me a nice big chunk. So that bought me enough time to be able to, leave that security, go take this agency thing full time and have kind of a blanket. Really, it bought me 30 days. And so I told myself, I have 30 days to get 10 new clients. If I can get 10 new clients in 30 days, we're going to survive. And we ended up getting like 15. And so from then on, man, it's been pedal to the metal. Tim, to tie this back into the junk removal, the junk removal's been operating. Tim is a good friend of mine, Tim Isaac. And my dad kind of got to a point where he was like, look, I'm tired of doing the junk removal thing. It's wearing my ass out. It's a lot for an old guy. So Tim was like, he was working with me at Spearcrest, and I was like, hey, dude, can you manage the junk removal side? I'll pay you your salary through Spearcrest. He was doing sales and that kind of thing, just to manage it. And so Tim stepped up and he starts managing it. And he's like, hey, dude, like we could do a lot more with this. And so he optimize our operating procedures and got our ground marketing stuff in place. Um, and then we got to a point where it was like, do we really want to continue to do the junk removal side? Maybe we can sell it or merge it with another company, let them handle it, and we can just take a chunk, because the junk removal business helps pay for the rent, like in the building that we're in, right? We don't make a lot of money off of it, but it's a good cash flow business. And then he's like, so we tried to merge with a company, and that was just a headache and was muddy and didn't work out. They're great guys, and I don't, it just wasn't the right time. And then Tim was like, dude, I can do this. Like, this business has been around for a while. It's got a great brand. It's already driving in, like, it's predictable. It's going to make 20 to 30K a month in revenue. Like, we know that's going to happen. Let's get it to 50 or 60 consistent. And we don't do any marketing other than SEO. So there was no on the ground marketing happening, because it was just really me. And so that's what he's doing, man. Today, today he had a BNI meeting, and then he went around to realtor groups and was handing out business cards and shaking hands, and he's growing the business on the ground. We've got kind of a good baseline of repeat customers, and we rank very well online. And so now it's just kind of taking it to that next gear. So that business still operating. I try to keep myself away from it as much as possible, because I'm the type, if you get me involved, I'll like take over the situation. So I stay focused on Spearcrest now, but yeah, so, I bumped my head and bled a lot in junk removal. That's how I learned how to be a business owner. Made a lot of stupid mistakes. And I try to share that as much as I can with people, to help them avoid those same mistakes. But yeah, man, so that's kind of the whole story and how it ties together and where we're at right now.
Very nice, man. So I wanted to find out, well, I kind of just went through this process, but I want to go through it with all my subscribers out there. If somebody's, just opening up a business and all, do you suggest starting off with a website right away?
That would depend on the person. It's a tricky question, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, especially in junk removal, so we're talking about a low barrier to entry business, right? People are bootstrapping it, because you can start. We talked about this, I think, on our first episode together, man. Like, you can start a junk removal business with a pickup truck and a trailer. I think that in a lot of cases, starting with building your own website is fine. I think picking the right platform to build it on is the trick. Duda it's maybe not as easy as like a Squarespace or a GoDaddy, but it's easy enough to where you can get started on a good platform and have kind of a baseline for an affordable price. Now, that's when you get started, right? And that shouldn't be a long-term solution. Well, I built my own website and it does just fine. I can guarantee you that it doesn't do just fine. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's crap, but it's good enough to get you started, and that's okay, right? You don't need to go pay me $2,500 to build you a website right out of the gate. However, 6 months to a year down the line, you should have enough money in the bank to be able to pay a professional website designer to come in and build you a great looking website like what you got, so that you can stand out from your competition. Because junk removal, you hear it in the groups, especially from the people that like to complain, it's saturated just like every other industry, right? One of the ways you can stand out is by at least having a highly professional website. It's simple, but it will land you jobs. Because if I go to, Fuhgeddaboutit junk removal's website, or I click on some guy who built his website on GoDaddy who doesn't really even tell me what he does and it looks like crap, I can tell you who I'm calling first, right? And so, again, you can hustle your way to 10, 20 grand a month, but there's going to come a point where you're going to need a really good solid foundation online in 2025. And it starts with a high quality website. So I guess that was a long way to answer your question. I don't think there's any problem with building your own website right out of the gate to save some money. But I think that it should be part of your budget to save for a professional website. And it doesn't have to be with me, man. There's a lot of great website designers out there, but go with the professional website designer that's going to help you stand out from the crowd, because you're going to need every inch you can get to stand out in today's market.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you have the budget, though, I would definitely recommend going the
Yes.
route of having somebody, unless you went to school for it and you got your own
Yeah.
background and all.
A little
But
different.
yeah, I could just say, just from me getting this website and the things that I've learned from just having a couple of you guys on interview, things that you would never think matter. And,
Yeah.
we wouldn't know that, unless we have people like this. So
Yeah.
in my eyes, it pays for itself. You know
It
what I mean?
does.
Which we're going to find out very shortly, because
Mhm.
what I did with this website is I put a tracking number from Autopilot. Shout out to Andrew Thompson. If you
Nice.
guys need a CRM software, Andrew Thompson's got Autopilot, and when you get the Autopilot, it comes with 5 free tracking numbers. So I
Wow.
used one of
Cool.
these tracking numbers for the website. The other tracking number I put on my truck. The other tracking is on my signs, my bandit signs, and all. So this way, I know where all
Yeah.
my marketing is coming from and what is actually bringing in new business and all that. So, what I was saying is, I really suggest going the website route and going with somebody that's very knowledgeable, because in my
Mhm.
eyes, it's just a no-brainer and it's going to pay for itself. So
Yeah.
now somebody goes and they just got up and running. Now they contact you. What is the whole process that, from the first time they initially talk to you, like, how does it all go down?
So we try to make it as simple as possible. Really, the first thing we have to do. Now, let me back up a little bit. So there's a different process for SEO and website design and just website design. So I'll start with the website design, since that's kind of what we're talking about here, and then I want to describe the SEO process as well. Website design is pretty straightforward, man. I mean, sorry, I just hit my mic. Our standard build is 9 to 10 pages, right? Depending on what the client wants, we'll build up to 10 pages. It's $2,500 for the website. We collect $1,250 up front. We build out the website. It takes us 4 to 6 weeks. Then we collect the second $1,250. It's that simple. They sign up with Duda. They give us access to Duda. We get in their account and build the website. They own the website. They purchase the URL. They just give us access to it. We don't own any of it. So we'll typically, let's say that we're starting over fresh, right? You and I are starting back from the beginning. Essentially, you would reach out, kind of hit me up, let me know what you want to do, right? And where you're located at, and see if we could help you. At that point, we would set up a call to really kind of figure out, what do you want to target? Do you want to target more demolition, or do you want to target more junk removal, or do you not target demolition and you only target, junk removal type services? And we're really just going to have a design call and get an idea of where you're at. At that point, we'll build up a proposal for you. So we'll say, hey, this is the recommended layout of the site. This is what you can expect to see on the site. And then we give you the numbers, right? The $2,500. Now, if you want a 20-page site, we can do that as well. We've done plenty of those. The cost will go up, but we can build as many pages as you want. Now, typically 10 is a good kind of starter point. So I like to use that as an example. That's a good way to start. And then, when you're on an SEO package, depending on which package you're on, we can add in pages each month or, each quarter, etc. Anyway, so once we get through the design call, you're good with it. We collect that first invoice. Then we get into the build phase. We build the homepage out first. The homepage sets the tone for the rest of the website. Every page will be unique. It'll have its own unique content, unique photos, that kind of thing. But the homepage will set the tone. And if you don't like the homepage, you're definitely not going to like the rest of the site. In the beginning, man, we would build out these nice, big, elaborate websites and send it to people, and they'd be like, I don't even like this. And I'm like, shit, now I got to redo, 10, 12 pages. Whereas I learned, let me just send the homepage over. If they like the homepage, they're likely going to like the rest of the site. And so we do 2 revision cycles. So we'll send you over the homepage. Let's say that you didn't like it. It's rare that doesn't happen. But I've got an example I'll use with you today. Rare that doesn't happen, but let's say, hey, like, I don't like that color or these pictures or whatever. You send that back to us. We correct it, send it back to you. You either give us a thumbs up or we allow you one more revision cycle. Like, hey, no, this is what I meant, fix this, whatever. At that point, we go and build out the rest of the site, and then we repeat that process. So once the whole site is built, we send the website over to you for approval, get your revisions, make those revisions, send it back over to you for approval, and then, we can repeat that again if we need to, or go live. It's pretty straightforward, man. I mean, it's, I try to I want to give people the opportunity to make revisions. A lot of agencies won't do that. They're like, hey, this is what you get. We're the professionals. You got to go with what we give you. But it's your website, man. And I want you to get now if it's structural and it's going to hurt the SEO or something, I might say, hey, no, we can't do that. But if it's visual stuff, for sure, it's your site. We want it to be custom to you, and we'll make sure that we make that happen. So the difference between that process and the SEO process, so all of the same things apply for website design if you sign up for website and SEO. But with SEO, we have to get into market research. So, Sonoma, California is going to be a lot different than San Jose, California, or Los Angeles, California. It's going to, SEO costs vary depending on your competition, how many searches are happening in your area. Where you're currently at. So, if you just have a Google Business Profile and you're not ranking at all, what do we need to do on the back end to expedite the process to get you ranking? So there's a lot of factors and research that we have to do on the back end to put the numbers together to understand what it's going to cost to charge you to get you ranking higher. And that can vary a ton. It can really vary a ton. The bigger markets can get very expensive. And, we have clients that are on high packages in those big markets to try to expedite that. We have clients that are on minimum packages. It's kind of this, there's no it's very simple and clear. If it were simple and clear, I wish I could make it super simple and clear, but we need to take time to go in and do the research. So we do that research, then we combine those numbers with the website design numbers and all that data, and we have that proposal call. We go through that. We look at what kind of conversion rates can we expect based on your market. What do we look to see, a year down the line once you're actually ranking well? What kind of conversions can we actually get you according to your market's search volume? And then we just start rocking from there, dude. I mean, it's off-page backlinking, it's blog posting, it's adding in pages over time. It's citations, it's managing the Google Business Profile. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into making the needle move. And sometimes we get into markets and things happen super fast. Sometimes we get into markets and they don't happen as fast as we thought they would. So it's like a lot of nuance for sure.
I'm definitely getting an education here, man, because I never really knew before I got into this that there was like a difference between the websites and like the whole SEO part of it and everything. So what does the whole SEO bring to the table? So that is like kind of like your local SEO, so that you're coming up on the local Google searches. Is that what you're focusing on?
Right. So we target long tail keywords. So a long tail buyer intent keywords. Essentially, what that means is, say I'm in. I'm going to say it wrong. Hang on, let me look it up.
And shout out to Drew24. He attached your website in there for Spearcrest Digital, and he says this is the place to go for targeted business, for junk removal and everything related. Thank you very much, Drew. Appreciate that, brother.
Drew, appreciate you, man. So Petaluma, right? I'm a guy in Petaluma and I need junk removal. When I type in the keyword junk removal Petaluma or junk removal Petaluma, California, our job being an SEO agency is to get your website populating for the results when people in your market are searching for that long tail keyword. Now, Petaluma, my guess is probably not getting a ton of searches, but probably doesn't have a lot of competition either. Whereas, you get into a bigger market. Let's just use this as an example. Petaluma, California, junk removal Petaluma might be getting searched somewhere around 50 times a month. I'm going to pull it up in Ahrefs to see how close I am before we get off the call. But best guess, 50 times a month, right? Junk removal Los Angeles is probably getting searched 3,000 times a month, 4,000 times a month. There's a very big difference in that. But irregardless, we want to get you ranking for those long tail keywords no matter the market that you're in. Some will just take a lot more work than others. So what we do to make this happen, so like on your website, we'll have a lot of talk about Petaluma, right? We'll talk a lot about Petaluma. We'll give Petaluma its own landing page. We'll talk about you guys, in the meta title, we'll have junk removal Petaluma, California. Forget about it, junk removal. We'll talk about Petaluma in the meta descriptions and the H1 tags. And so we're really just telling Google when it gets to your site that you all want to do junk removal in Petaluma. And then, of course, the surrounding cities. So we give each one, Santa Rosa, I think, is one of them. And Sonoma. So like we're giving some of these areas their own landing pages to really tell Google, hey, we want to rank here too. Petaluma is kind of home base, so we want to essentially build the map for them through our word content. Once we do that, then we build high quality backlinks to your website, and I'll explain that to you as best I can, because sometimes digital marketers will talk about backlinking as if it's some kind of magical fairy dust, and it's not. It's just boring. I mean, I think it's boring. Some marketers really love it, and we have team members that really love it. It's their job. But a backlink is a link from another website that, when clicked, redirects to your website. And if it is high quality, Google looks at that and goes, okay, well, this high quality website over here is linking to Fuhgeddaboutit junk removal. And this high quality website that we trusts them. So we need to trust them as well. And it begins to increase your trust score over time, right? That's the best way to describe this. Local backlinks are great. So like chambers of commerce, those are considered citations or directory listings as well. But they are geo-relevant backlinks. I'll give you an example of a local backlink that was really powerful. So Indiana prison system gets a lot of visitors. Like a lot of people go to the indianaprison.org or whatever, probably to send people money for their books or whatever. But there's a lot of traffic on the Indiana prison system website. Well, you can, if you're a business in Indiana, you can offer discounts to prison staff, right? So, penitentiary employees, whatever. So we reached out, we sent them an email and said, hey, this is for a dumpster rental client of ours. We said, hey, we would like to, just offer a 10% discount to all Indiana State Prison staff. They get 10% off dumpster rental, yada, yada. And they said, oh, yeah, sure, we'll list you. Send us your website, blah, blah, blah. So we sent the website. Boom. They listed it on their website. They got a backlink. And that backlink was powerful, man. It was like a 90 domain rating. Super, super powerful backlink. A lot of traffic going to it. And we saw them jump up. We saw their website shoot up when that happened. Now, over time, their competitors caught on because they're working with SEO agencies who are doing competitor research and figured out that they'd gotten that backlink. And that's fine. But my point here is saying that good agencies are going to be looking always for those high quality backlinks and building those. That's one piece to the puzzle. That's kind of the off page side. But, the on page side is blog posting and adding in pages, really pushing fresh content to the website. You can overdo it, so you got to be careful. But, adding in blog posts once or twice a month, and then adding in, and if you can connect YouTube videos to those blogs, that's really powerful too. And then also adding some service area pages or some service pages, once a month or once a quarter is helpful. And then managing that Google business profile as well. There's a lot that goes into managing a Google business profile, and it's kind of an ever-changing environment. And we try to guinea pig our own business and see what's working better, and then roll that out to our clients. But
on the Google My Business, should you be active every day? Should you be doing something on that site?
That is a good question. There is a such thing as overposting on your Google business profile. If you had asked me a year ago, I would say you need to be active every day. I'm hesitant to say you shouldn't be active every day, but I am hesitant to say you shouldn't be posting updates every day. You should be active in some way. So maybe you add a photo every day, but you need to be posting. Here's how we do it in our cycle for our clients. This is just in regard to the activity that we do on the profile. This doesn't include like optimizing the profile. And there's other processes to help get you ranking higher, which I'll explain that here in a minute. But what we do is we create graphics. So let's just say, like you'll send us the pictures that you had sent with you guys, like sitting behind the truck or in the office or whatever. We'll create a graphic out of that. And then we'll create an update post, and we'll say something like, we're available if you need to book junk removal service and you're in, wherever, Santa Rosa, California, reach out to Fuhgeddaboutit Junk Removal today. We'll do that 4 times per week for 3 weeks out of the month. On the 4th week, we don't post at all. We don't post any updates, and we're giving Google a chance to kind of catch up on our posts. Now they've gotten a lot faster with AI, but we've seen better performance when we give that gap than if we were to post 4 times a week, 4 weeks out of the month. we tested it. We actually saw an increase when we gave them time to catch up. Now, every time we post an update, we also add a photo. You also need to be responding to every review you receive within 24 hours of receiving it. Here's a little bit of a pro tip. Some people don't like to do this, but it's a pro tip. Respond to that review using cell phone service, not connected to Wi-Fi. Because you will have to log into your Google Maps app, and Google will be able to see where you're at on the map when you respond to that review. And if it's in your service area, that's a signal to them that you're active in that service area. A little bit of a pro tip there. Now, if our clients don't respond within 24 hours, we respond for them. But yeah, you don't have to be active every day, but you need to have some consistent schedule that you stick to. So if it's, hey, it's first 3 weeks of the month, I'm posting 4 times per week. And on the last week, I'm going to give myself a break just to, get something where you can stay consistent with it. Or if you can consistently post 3 days a week, every week of the month, that's better than, posting twice and forgetting to post. And like, just be consistent with whatever you're doing. That's the most helpful tip that I can really give, because a lot of people are just inconsistent, man. And then they get mad. Like, I've had this profile and I'm not getting any results. And then I look it up and they haven't put a post up since November. And I'm like, well, man, you got to be active. Google needs to know you're out here doing the work.
Now, what about other platforms? Now, just posting on those and putting like hashtags with "forget about it," junk removal. Is that kind of like tying everything together in an SEO sense? Like with my Google My Biz page, my website, does that tie together somehow?
Yeah. So it was a change. It used to be sometimes Google might recognize your social media profiles and sometimes they might not, right? But last year, you can now connect all of your social media profiles to your Google business profile. So like your YouTube channel and your Facebook page and Instagram page and all that. You can integrate that into your Google business profile. Now, as you're posting, Google's crawling the internet. They're crawling through your Google business profile and they're seeing that you're active, right? They're also crawling the content on there. And so we see that people who are posting on their social media profile more consistently, we see them climbing faster because Google's using that as a rank factor, especially if they're using keywords in their posts. So if you're saying, hey, and you can use the same posts that you put on social media as updates on your Google business profile. You can double down and get double the credit for the same exact freaking post. You know what I mean? But then Google's going to go through that and they're going to see that you said, hey, the Fuhgeddaboutit team was out doing some furniture removal service today, in wherever, Santa Rosa, California. If you need furniture removal in Santa Rosa, California, reach out to Fuhgeddaboutit. So now you've mentioned furniture removal, your company name, and a location all in that post. And, Google's going to see that. Now, that one post isn't going to shoot you to number one, but if you consistently post that sort of stuff, you consistently post it, it's going to paint a picture for Google. And that's how you got to kind of think of it. It's almost like art. You got to, one brush stroke here and there will eventually, create a picture. And that picture is you being in the top 3. So
now, as far as like Facebook ads, what if I start doing, like putting $10 a day, $20 a day in Facebook ads, and I put in there my website at the bottom of it? Is that helping?
The ad itself won't do you any favors. It's not going to do anything, but the traffic going to your website will help if you have it going to your website. If you're doing that to pump traffic to your website for SEO purposes, I think that's cool. If you're doing it to actually try to land jobs, you're going to have a bad time because it's not going to work out great. When it comes to ads, you want to direct ads to landing pages. Now, we don't manage ads, okay? And I'm not an ads expert, but what I do know is that you do not want to direct ads to a primary landing page on a website. You want to have a specific funnel landing page built for the ad set that you're pushing ads to. Now, that said, you can still leverage ads to push traffic to your website for the sake of increasing SEO, because Google does consider traffic. Now, it'll count as paid traffic, but they still consider traffic as people getting eyeballs on your website, and it will help your SEO for sure.
Okay. And we got a $5 super chat from Caroline Loomis. Great to see you, Paul, and thanks for sponsoring Winter Blast 98. Congrats on your new venture, you the man. Thank you very much, Caroline. I really appreciate that. And shout out to the 98. And yeah, hopefully we'll see if I'll be able to make it out there in person to the East Coast for March. Thank you again, Caroline. I really appreciate that. And we got
I gotta ask,
Drew.
man, what's the Winter Blast 98, man?
Oh, so it's a big arm wrestling tournament. It's the biggest
Oh, nice.
one in the whole country, and it goes down in March. And one of my good friends is he's like the owner of it, and he throws it. And you know, I'm one of the official sponsors, and you know, I like to help them out, grow, and all that.
Very cool. That's cool, man.
Drew says people have seconds to find what they want. Anything longer, and it could cause frustration and looking elsewhere. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the attention span of Americans is shrinking, and it's not long as it is. And so you want people to, when they find you, to click on your site or your Google business profile and take action immediately. You know, you want them to, when I land on your website, I need to know what you do right out of the gate, which, you know, like you've got good branding. Some people don't have great branding. In your case, you do. So that kind of helps. But I need to know what you do. I need to know where you do it. And I need to know how to get a hold of you. Now, if I'm a picky client, I might go through the whole website and read it word for word. 9 out of 10 people, maybe even percentage, you know, less than that are actually going to do that. They're like, I need junk removal. I'm going to call these dudes because they look professional. I like their brand. I'm going to call them and get a price. Right. And then you just got to be good at sales at that point, which is a whole nother can of worms. But yeah, the decision needs to be easy. And when you have a professional site and everything is cohesive and it looks professional, and it looks like you're active and you're easy to find, it makes that just a lot more smooth, man. It just makes that whole process a lot more smooth.
So guys, if you guys are looking for somebody to build your website and possibly, you know, control it too, like run it as far as SEO, definitely hit up Ronnie Knuckles. He's over on Facebook. You could also hit up Spearcrest Digital. That's his company. Amazing work. Works with so many companies in junk removal, but also outside of junk removal, any kind of business he could help out with that. So definitely hit him up. Really knows his stuff. I want to thank you for coming on today, Ronnie. Really, really appreciate it, brother. And I am so excited about launching this website. And now you got me all on the SEO, and I'm like thinking I got to go learn everything SEO. And I think I'm going to be hitting you up about that very soon as well. And get
Anytime,
that going.
dude. Yeah.
Well, is there anywhere else you'd like people to hit you up on? Any social media platforms you'd like to check out?
Well, you know, Facebook is really where most people can find me. I'm not super big on Instagram yet. I need to, and I was holding off on TikTok until you know they got brought back. But you can join. I've got a couple Facebook groups. Junk removal for beginners. That's a new Facebook group we just opened up. So if you own a junk removal business and you're looking for some free value, we're going to be really revamping that group and making it a place where people come to get a lot of value. And the second is junk removal and dumpster rental growth. So that's kind of for junk removal and dumpster rental businesses. Dumpster rental is probably 40% of our clients. And so that group is for both industries, whereas the junk removal for beginners is junk removal specific. So yeah, you guys can find me on Facebook at Ronnie Knuckles or in either of those groups.
Yeah, Drew posted again. He posted up your site, and he says, Ronnie Knuckles, hit him up. Not close friends with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hey, dude, I just watched Knuckles the other day. I watched it on Amazon Prime with my kids. It's a pretty dope show.
Nice, very nice. Also, want to make mention, we got a book, Leading with Purpose. It was from our friend Kevin Hess. He's another guy in the junk removal industry doing great things. So definitely, if you haven't gone to Amazon yet and picked up your copy, definitely get over there. I'm also going to be having some contests. I got a bunch of them autographed from Kevin, and I'm going to be doing some contests coming up on the channel soon. So if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you can, please hit that thumbs up. Just help me get in the algorithm. And then also want to shout out to Xavier. He's also got another great book out there, Junk Removal Secrets. It's a series of books. 2 of them are out right now. I just got both of them. He's got another one on its way. You could get over to Amazon and get your copy over there, or you could just hit up Xavier directly on Facebook. So again, thank you everybody in the chat. Really appreciate the support. Drew, thank you for being the moderator. You were the man. Caroline, how you doing? Thank you for everything. And yeah, thank you again, Ronnie, for coming on. It was a pleasure, and we'll be in touch very soon.
Sounds good, Paul. I greatly appreciate it, man. Good talking to you, and hope some people got some value.
Have a great night, guys.